Good morning, church. It's good to be with you again here today. And today we are looking in Genesis 39 and even 40 and 41. This whole section returns us in Genesis to the story of Joseph after he has now been sold into slavery. He's wound his way down into Egypt, and now he has a situation on his hands. He gets sold into the house of a guy named Potiphar, and Potiphar is apparently a powerful guy in Pharaoh's household. And Joseph begins to earn favor by being successful in what he's doing, by being a faithful servant, and he raises to the ranks of being this second in command in the household, basically. And then he encounters a problem. Let's read about it here quickly. Uh, Verse 6 of 39. He left all that he owned under Joseph's authority. He did not concern himself with anything except what he ate and drank. Now, Joseph was well built and handsome. After some time, his master's wife looked longingly at Joseph and said, "Sleep with me." But he refused. "Look," he said to his master's wife, "with me here, my master does not concern himself with anything in his house, and he has put all that he owns under my authority. No, no one in this house is greater than I am. He has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. So, how could I do this immense evil, and how could I sin against God?" And eventually she's going to set him up in a scenario where he gets thrown into prison. The point is that Joseph maintained his trust in God, and he maintained the integrity that God requires, even in situations where he would have legitimately felt completely abandoned by God. He could have said, I was thrown out of my father's household. I was sold into slavery. Here I am in Egypt. Nobody even knows who I am, where I am. My whole life is in ruins. And so it might seem that God had abandoned him, and so that he would abandon his principles. But he does not do that. He clings tighter to the Lord than ever. And even when he gets thrown into prison on a false accusation, he continues to press on in his labor for God. And that's our cue in for what we want to take as a principle here today, that no matter where we are in our life circumstances, if we're being blessed or if we feel like we're in a time of severe trial, we need to set ourselves on a path where we are constantly upholding God. Now, the other thing that Joseph did is he tried not to put himself in situations where he could get into trouble with Potiphar's wife. Um, it sounds like there was usually people around, except the one time when there was no servants in the household, and that's when he flees. He leaves his garment behind and he flees because her temptation is so strong and her pursuing him is so strong. He leaves his garment behind in her grasp as he flees the house. Paul tells us in Corinthians that God makes a way of escape from severe temptation. We are never to treat temptation like a bull and we're the matador, waving our red cape, tempting it to charge at us and gore us, to face it head on. No, it's like an alcoholic going to the bar or a chocoholic going to the Ethyl factory or something. It's ridiculous. We escape from temptation by physical distance. We get away. Now, Joseph didn't have friends here, but in a Christian community, we have friends. We have physical distance from the temptation. We call a friend. We reach out for help. We are to lift each other's hands up. But if you are just going to sit in the face of temptation, you're not going to make it. If Joseph had just hung around the house There's no way he would have made it through. So even if it costs you relationships, Joseph's integrity cost him. It cost him in this world, but in God's economy, he was ended up being incredibly richly blessed because he was truly guiltless and a man of integrity. So today, trust in God, maintain your integrity as you trust in him, flee from temptation, run from it with all your might. Use God as your source and your foundation. Use your Christian family. And church, together we can continue to shine our light in the world. I look forward to talking to you again soon.